All right, gang, hello and welcome to another episode of the Liberty Homestead. I'm talking a little quietly because Liberty Toddler here is fast asleep. But after my first canning video, there were a few of you that asked me, okay, you say that you have your prepared jars. Well, how exactly do you prepare them? So here is a quick video to tell you if you are brand new to canning and you don't know what it means to have your clean prepared jars, this video is for you. So canning jars come in flats like what I'm going to show you on screen here because I'm not going to pick up one of my flats and risk jingling the jars and waking her up. It's pretty simple. You take them out of the flat and you have a few different options. You can hand wash them by hand with hot soapy water. You can put them in the dishwasher, or you can put them in the dishwasher, wash them, and then run a sterilize cycle. If you're doing that, then you are going to want to leave your jars in the dishwasher until you use them. That's not really my thing. So instead, what I do, it's really simple. You wash them by hand, and then you get them all in your canning rack. You fill up your canning rack, and simply, when you put them in your canner, you make sure that they are filled with water so they don't pop up and float, and you make sure that the canner comes to a boil and boils for a while, and then you just leave them simmering in there submerged, and that will sterilize your jars. It's pretty easy. Some people will also, instead of putting them in the canner, will put them in the oven for, I believe, 250 degrees to warm them up. That seems like a pain in the butt to me, especially with a toddler who is fascinated by the stove and oven. So I go the canner route. Just make sure that they are submerged in there, that it gets up to a boil, and that they sit there while you fill them. And after you fill them, you put your tops back in and you submerge them back into the water. Easy peasy. Now when you buy your jars in the flats, they come with lids already on them. Here's your lid, here is your ring. You're gonna wanna wash these in hot soapy water as well. Now a lot of recipes will tell you to boil your lids and rings ahead of time or keep them in simmering water before you use them. You don't actually need to do that anymore. Partially they say it's to sterilize it, but you're gonna have them in the boiling water anyways. But the biggest reason that older, especially recipes, will tell you to do that is because you used to need to boil the lids to get this rubber ring here softened to make them seal on your jars. Most lids do not require that anymore, and it's not a step that you need to do. So a lot of canning kits, especially the one that I linked actually in my previous videos and have linked in my Amazon store, will have this in it. And this is a jar lifter specifically for taking them out of the boiling or simmering water. Like I said, again, to my knowledge, you don't need to boil lids and rings anymore. Some people still do, but it is not a necessity. Just make sure that they are cleaned in hot soapy water and properly dried. If you're washing them and using them right away, that's fine, but you don't want to get them stored in water or with moisture because they will rust, and if they rust, you can't use them. Oh no, we woke up. Now another question that I had in the comments of that video is, how do you know that your jar is sealed? So this is a batch of pickles that I did a few days ago on the 26th, and I don't know if you can see this, but the lid here is flat. You could press on it, nothing happens, it doesn't move, it doesn't make a noise. These lids are like the lids on anything that you buy in the store, where if the button is popped, then it has been opened. So if this didn't seal, then you'd be able to pop the button in the middle. Also, you won't be able to move it off, and in fact, I'm not going to open this because it's not ready. Pickles need to sit a while before you open them, but the canning kit that I have linked in the description and on my Amazon storefront has one of these babies, and this is a jar opener. If it is properly sealed, you're not going to be able to just open this with your fingers. You're gonna have to use a butter knife or one of these. I'm not gonna mess with it because I'm afraid to open it. The final way that you would know that your jars are sealed is if you hear them pinging when they come out of the canner or for the next couple of hours. It's kind of like a popping sound. You are not going to rely on that 100% because things could pop in and out. But if you heard pings and after 12 to 24 hours, your button is depressed down in the middle, then you can be pretty sure that your jars are sealed. And one final note, they say not to store them with the rings on because then you could have a false seal and not know if something spoiled and popped it off, but I store them with the rings anyways because I think it looks better and I'm not gonna have anything in my pantry long enough for it to spoil. There are other ways to tell if something has spoiled anyways, like if it gets cloudy, it looks funky in there. And by funky, anything that is not in the liquid is going to get discolored at the top, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just a color change that happens. The process of canning makes this a vacuum and sterilizes it. So color change is fine, smell is bad, bad taste is bad. And again, if you develop any rust on the lid or the ring, that's also a sign that something in there could have gone bad. So you're gonna wanna check it before you feed it to your family. All right, gang, well, as you can see, I'm actually in the middle of canning something right now, making some salsa for you guys. So I'm going to get back to that, but I hope that this answered a couple of questions and was really informative for you guys. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in to this one, and I will see you on the next video, probably about salsa.